that.
What if I was on OnlyFans? Would you want to hear my stories?
I would have no choice. You would tell him no matter what.
It's the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. The rules are gone. The shirt is untucked. Here's Scott and Allie.
It is another Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Look at us go.
It's kind of our job at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not something that I can just schlep off.
That's true.
Who else is going to do it?
Yeah, well, you're right. If it's not Scott and Allie doing the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast, then it's somebody else's podcast, which arguably, who knows, might be better. I don't know.
I did have somebody ask us about coming on the podcast and said they would pay us.
Well, first of all, how much? And are we going to be talking about quilting? Because I don't care for the right price.
No, it was about OnlyFans, and I thought, I haven't even broached this with you. I don't think that you would go for it.
What is it? Tell me now. Let's go and we'll make the decision.
They want to talk about their OnlyFans stories, about being an OnlyFans content creator.
Before we go any further, is it the person that used to work here?
Yeah.
Then no.
I knew it. I knew it. And
No.
I just said I would talk to him.
Nope.
So we talked and you said no.
Nope.
I don't even know what to say to her except for that's not the direction that we want to go with our podcast.
Oh, it could be.
I think it could be too. I am kind of curious. I do want to hear some of the dirty down stories. What if we do a mini pod? Now, it will never be a mini pod. It'll always...
It's going to grow.
It would grow. It would have to be a bonus pod because I think that's the only thing we would and could talk about. And we have to really say NSFW on the labeling.
There is curiosities, but I'm
so curious too.
I've got my reasons not to be insulting in any way, shape, or form, but I got my reasons I don't want to hear it from that person.
They've already been on our podcast before too.
They were?
You weren't here. That's right. Right. You were on vacation. It was probably like 4 years ago or something. I don't even know how long. How long have you? I mean, I know we're up to like episode 179 or something like that. I don't know the exact episode we're on, but
but it's been here for a minute.
I can't remember the year we started. 2020?
Maybe.
2021.
No. 20. Well, maybe. Oh, I don't know.
I don't know
No,
either.
it was 2022 maybe.
No. Hold on.
Well, yeah, that makes, all right, maybe 2021.
I think it's been longer than you realize.
Well, there's 52 weeks in a year.
Uh-huh.
And we strive to at least bang one out every week. We might have only missed one episode over the course of getting one out every week 2 times in the stretch of this.
Exactly. It's usually around Christmas that we've missed. It was December 14th. 2021.
Oh, 2021.
Our first episode.
Oh, that's awesome. I wonder what train wreck that sounded like. Probably just like the rest of the train wrecks.
You were in at that point.
That's right. I came a little bit later.
Yeah. So at first it was our old producer, Quinn. It was Quinn and I. And we started with Musty and Unconscious. And then I think you came...
Wish I was part of that one.
Okay. You came in at episode 5.
Oh.
So 1 was Musty and Unconscious.
Well, we had a big contract negotiation we had to work through with the agents to make that all happen. Uh-huh. Or not. Or maybe I didn't believe this thing was going to stick, and now look at us.
If you would just have faith in me. I'm just saying.
You were not the problem.
I'm
subtly putting everything down right now. Listen to me go.
This is what I've dealt with for 19 years.
Yeah, well,
I'd rather die than lose a leg. You say that, but I've just had somebody say to me recently, more than one person. They said, Allie, everything you touch at this station is successful. Everything.
Have I denied that?
Well, you were just putting me down on the podcast.
Oh, no, you didn't listen to what I said.
That's what I heard.
I didn't think it was going to stick because the other individual that was part of it in the first 5 without me, I was thinking, that's a fleeting thought. And then it was going to be done. And, we get busy with stuff.
Yeah,
so.
but if I was part of it, I wouldn't let it fail.
See, there you go.
I wouldn't let it be a fleeting thought.
There it was. So
it's the same with I've organized this cleanup day. And it's actually not a station sanctioned thing.
No.
And
you just ripped the idea off of Elmira and took it to Corning.
Well, yeah, because it's not just that one town can be clean. We can clean more than one town.
Absolutely. That's the underlying main reason to it. But listen, this is broadcasting. There hasn't been a new idea in 100 years. We just repolish up the same old turds that used to be out there.
And it's so crazy because just from me starting to make connections, I just got a text message that Corning Kiwanis, Corning Paint and Post, Corning Moose Club, all these people are on board. Triangle Fund,
oh, what is that? I don't even know what that is.
It's the Houghton's. That's the yes.
You've got some money coming.
I've got a little connection.
Dang.
And I'm using it. So
Financial security.
Actually, they approached me. About
that's really awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
they said
that is a absolutely wonderful cause.
So,
just like the Elmira was too. They're really great.
So same with the podcast. I wasn't going to let it fail.
Oh.
I was going to make sure that it stuck around.
Like I said, my faith was well placed in one of the two people that started the podcast, and then I showed up.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, and that's two things I've just made a comment on subtly. I don't know about the I would
bringing in old coworkers.
No, it's.
I was going to say that's funny. This company loves to bring them back.
Oh, I know. No, it's.
That's my second dig of the day.
It's the difficulty in, I don't know if I want that person's stories from OnlyFans.
Oh, you want somebody who's like blonde, 5'7", and huge tatas.
Doesn't even have to be huge tatas.
Okay, blonde, 5'7".
I don't even know if it has to be blonde. I just don't know if I want that person's story.
Okay.
You know?
What
there
if I
are
was
questions,
on,
but I struggle with that.
What if I was on OnlyFans? Would you want to hear my stories?
I would have no choice. You would tell him no matter what.
I get that, though. There are certain people that as soon as it gets to, like, I don't know, it's just somebody that I don't want to know in that. Okay, my girlfriends.
To know in that way.
My girlfriends. Whenever they're like, last night, I'm like, tell me more.
Yes.
But anytime there is somebody, even if my mom says, Mark, are you getting fresh with me? I'm like, ew,
God. That took it to the extreme.
Yes, I'm like, that is the extreme. But that is the perfect example. You know what? You're right. Sometimes you love hearing stories from one person, not another.
That's all it is.
Uh-huh.
And there are questions to be had. So maybe the right person will come along that we can ask.
Oh, I can set that up. I know somebody who is on OnlyFans. Do you want me to set that up?
Wait, another person?
Uh-huh.
After the podcast, let me know so that I can make that decision too. I feel like I don't want to subtly. I don't know. Okay.
No, you don't know the person at all. They are, actually, I know two people. One of them is, they're both of my friends are entrepreneurs and they offer services, not sexual services. They offer like more on the beauty end of things, services. And both of them have clients who have been on OnlyFans.
Oh, so they themselves have not been on OnlyFans?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
But I bet you I can get hooked up with them if you wanted to get.
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to either. Like, I guess, like, tell me a story or two. I'm finding that world less intriguing anymore.
I know. Honestly, for me, it's like, how much do you make? I can't think of any other. Here, my two questions would be, how much do you really make? And how far are you willing to go with something? Like, do you automatically have a set of no's? The bum is off limits. I don't know. I don't know what it would be like.
I would rather hear like funny stories, not sexual stories.
Honestly.
Yeah, I guess I pass too. I pass.
Well, we worked through that.
Yeah, we did.
Nice. Wow.
Right here on the podcast.
Well, sometimes you just got to work it out with a friend, All right, I got to tell you this. This is funny. Now, listen, I told 6059, my significant other, that I was going to mention this on the podcast because the other day, mid-show, she sends me a text, and I've said, could we wait to talk about certain things after the show? But this one, I said I had to mention it.
Okay.
She goes, do you do things deliberately to drive me crazy? Well, now I'm
don't think you do.
Now,
but you do things that drive, yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment, and here's why.
Okay.
I don't do things deliberately to drive people crazy. I'm not that person. I think you and I both know someone that someone on this podcast is connected to that does something to drive the other person crazy, Zach.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you go. He's got it in him. He wants to push those buttons.
Yes, he thinks about it. He conjures up little stories and ways to get me to just like, ugh!
Now, mind you, he's not doing it to be long-term cruel. Mm-hmm. I think he just gets a sheer joy out of needling you a little bit.
He does.
Just, yeah. So I am not that person. But then
he does get mad. Like the other day, I literally yelled at him. I said, just stop it.
Yeah.
And he was like,
No, yeah. Now he's butthurt because his game's over. Mm-hmm. But either way, that's fun needling until it's not fun. Mm-hmm. Mine, I don't deliberately do it. Okay, my mind just I'm a Gen X that learned how to cope with ADHD and didn't know it was a thing until way after everybody had it, right? It was like, that's the thing everybody has now. I probably grew up with it and learned how to cope with it.
Okay, what was the thing that you did that drove her crazy, though?
She texts me, she goes, I want the Dawn Power Wash spray bottle to have the logo facing out. And I go, are you fucking kidding? This is a matter?
Okay, I kind of get this a little bit because our refrigerator, I put all of our drinks, like we have cans on the bottom left, yogurt is on the top left, and the eggs are next to it, and I have all the labels facing out of those
we've gone through that in the fridge with the pop cans, the soda bottles,
and so
each one in a row, logo out.
Yes, and I also like with its like leftovers, I want them to be stacked. Don't have them all willy-nilly everywhere. Like everything's got.
Okay, I try with that, but that's a fail.
This is so funny. It's such a stupid thing, isn't it?
It's stupid, but
but I am this way.
I have to give the good with the bad on this. There really may not be a bad.
I know what's coming. I've got to give her credit.
Well,
that's Scott's famous line. I got to give 60-50 credit.
Here's the thing. She does a great job of. I mean, I would be the type of person. I would like to clean up the mess to a certain level of cleanup, and I feel it's good. She makes sure, that kitchen looks great at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
Now, I
can't sleep if it's not.
I have been working hard on many occasions, not to perfection, but many occasions to make sure it looks well put together when the night's over. Mm-hmm. But the logo for the Dawn Power Wash facing out, and you know how it screwed with me yesterday?
I'm just hearing it out loud. I'm hearing how stupid it is, but I know that I'm the same person.
But let me tell you now what is going through my mind. And this is where I am just like, oh my God, now I'm sensitive to it. So I'm now thinking yesterday as I'm doing a number of dishes by hand, and every time I put the Dawn Power Wash bottle back, it's backwards. I didn't have it right. So I turn it around. But then I had to go pick it up again and spray it, and I put it back. So then I looked at it. Now ask me if I fixed my own problem. I'll just tell you the answer is no already. I looked at it. This is how it's screwed with me.
And you thought, F no.
I pondered, should I take the lid off and turn the spout? Because you can turn it either way. So that because when I grab it, the way the spout is now, you spray and it's coming out where the logo is up front. Well, the natural placement of putting it down, your fingers on the trigger, you'd put it right back the way that it was, which means the ass of the bottle is facing out, right? So I'm like, I looked at it last night 3 times and I thought, should I just take the top off and turn it down? That would be convenient for me. That would fix all my problems. Did I fix my own problem? Nope.
This
sure
is
didn't.
So funny.
Sure didn't.
Oh my gosh. I don't even broach this. The other day we had a critter lady over because we have a squirrel problem. And I don't want to be this person, but I have gotten to the point where that is Zach's pile, that's his room, that's his mess, that's his problem. So I hate it because I can't stand to walk by it, but that is his office. He has boxes from when we moved in. We have lived there for a year and a half now. He just has like messes everywhere. And the same on the counter. He has this one section of the counter that is quote unquote his. And he went to a hockey tournament, about a month ago. And he took a snackle box. It looks like a tackle box that you fish with, but he put all of his snacks in there.
God, that's great.
It is, but how
can you be so neurotic with that, but not cleaning up your mess?
It's right. It's still on his counter. His Easter basket is still on his counter. Just all that stuff. And I just
sounds like it's bleeding into your part of the counter.
I walk past it and I am just like, Okay, I hate it. I hate it. But for me, I'm like, I can't fight about this anymore.
Let me ask you a
literally
question.
Cannot, because I will fucking hate him.
I too have an area of the counter where I find myself leaving things probably in not the most organized manner, namely a lot of mail things or maybe something from the school, maybe, but it's in a basket. Do you find yourself going to like TJ Maxx? Well, of course you find yourself going to TJ Maxx, but do you find yourself looking at an organizer going, should I buy that and bring it home? Like you can't get him to not have that space, but you're like, how can I make it more appealing to what I want? Do you do this?
Yes, and it'll still spill over.
Oh, yeah.
He just cannot. He can't contain the mess. And I don't understand it at all because he is somebody that he will wash his butthole 6 times a day.
Yeah.
Where me, I'm like, I went to the gym.
You showed me a picture of his office once. It's pristine. The one at work.
That's what I don't understand. How is that? How can you have a pristine office, but our messes at home?
I think it's the epitome of when he walks through the door at home, he's home and the shoes come off and they're just laid anywhere. That's the theory.
I can't. And and that's where I'm like, if I focus on this, I will literally hate him. Like you think I'm kidding. That would end our relationship if I focused on it.
I get it. There's, everybody has something with a significant other that is, a bit of a trigger. I mean, you have to look at it and you have to go, and you've obviously done this. You look at it and you go, what is the bigger picture here?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I have to honestly, I wait until somebody important is coming over. Like his best friend is coming home from Vermont next weekend and they're going to be coming to our house. So that's when I'm like, okay, can we at least clean this up before Brett gets here? Because I don't want Brett and Misha to see this.
Do you think his best friend's going to care?
No, but that will get him to do it, at least kind of. It'll get him to because the stuff is from the wall to the edge of the counter.
Ooh.
There's no space at all. And it was so funny. I remember when my friend Sarah was on dating apps. And one time we saw a guy's counter that looked like that. And she was like, nope, red flag for me. I swiped. I cannot deal with cluttery.
Although if you ask 6059, I may not be the cleanest person. Well, let me take that back. Clean, yes. Maybe not the most tidy, put away, organized person, at least to her standards. So be it. That's fine. But I will tell you, you just mentioned something about dating apps. I think they should come out with a dating app where you can see the person's counters and bathrooms.
I've said that from the beginning. It's I need to see your house.
Do you know my ex-wife, and this goes all the way back to the mid-90s, my ex-wife, I remember her telling me at one time, I was impressed at how clean your bathroom was when I first came over.
Yeah, me too. And then...
Oh, you were impressed in how clean my bathroom was?
No, I was impressed with Zach's. And then we started living together. And now I'm disgusted.
What? Where did the give up come from?
I don't know. But you know what?
I mean, admittedly,
it's not my problem. It's not my mess. And I don't use that bathroom.
The bathroom, too, is like that?
I don't use that bathroom. We have separate bathrooms.
See, I will tell you this.
We have separate bathrooms. We have separate offices. We have separate closets. I cannot care.
I will tell you this. Sometimes I fall into the trap of letting it go to the point where I look at it and I go, I can't take it anymore. But it's not always. I try to be better, than that. But once in a while, I'll get to the point I'm like, oh my God, I have to clean this toilet. When you can see the ring on the toilet inside, you're like, it's just hard water. But it's like, that's got to be dealt with.
We even kind of talked about this on the show. There's always somebody in the relationship who throws things away. Then there's the garbage goblin. I am married to the garbage goblin. I'm not married yet. Oh my God. I believe me. I didn't get married.
Where you're going on that. So that was my one thing that I had to say. Before I go to my second thing, you had something too.
Oh, well, this actually has to do with Zach. It was so funny. So
while we're there.
This is so small. But so yesterday he is on the couch with his dog. I mean, it's our dog, but he came into the relationship with that dog and I came into the relationship with my dog. And so he's like, me, Fritzy, blee, 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 blee. And I said, I know you love your dog more than you love me. And he's like, no, I don't. And it was funny because I read something this morning that dog owners said they would sacrifice their partner as long as they can increase their dog's lifespan. And I thought about it again this morning. And this is just my only editorial on this. I'm totally okay with him loving that dog more than me. Isn't that weird? Is that weird?
I was going to tell you, though, I don't think it's more. I just think it's a different. I really do. I don't think it's really more.
Oh, I do.
Okay, maybe.
But I feel the same. Like, I truly think I love Junior more than I love Zach. I'm not even lying. I wish I was, but I'm not. And I love Zach, but I think I love Junior more. And you know what?
And you don't think it's just a different love?
I mean, yes, of course it's a different love.
Well, yeah, but,
But he came first.
Is it that, or is it just that the dogs give you a different comfort?
Yeah.
Well, we found out already in this podcast, Zach gives you no comfort.
Well, it's not that he doesn't give me any.
Quite honestly, keeps your nerves on edge.
Zach is the snuggler of the group. The group. As if
the group, yeah.
Zach is the snuggler of the couple.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that out loud is when I rethought about it this morning, I was like, it's fine. You love your dog more than me. I'm totally fine with that.
It's fine because it's different. If it was another woman.
Oh, then yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, it's different.
But I'm just okay with you loving another.
Just like loving your mother more than your partner is different. They were there.
I think I would have an issue with that.
But it's different.
Because
it's
then
not
I'm going to
the
be
same.
like, get off that titty.
Well, yeah, but it's still not the same.
It is not the same. I don't think that he loves his mom more than me, though. So I think that's where I'm like, I'm fine with I'm fine with the dog, not the mom. I'm being honest.
All right. Do you want mine? I want to be careful on mine when I do this because I'm just thinking I'm dwelling. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm obsessing.
Okay.
I'm obsessing and I'm dwelling. And here's the problem with it.
That is you.
What does RSVP mean to you?
It means
if it's on an invitation.
Call or text and let me know. I used to be bad about this. I used to be terrible about this.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, once you start getting really involved with a lot of weddings, which I've been involved with a lot of weddings, then that's when, because I remember growing up, anytime I saw it, if it was on an invitation, I never thought about it, never did it. And even where it would get to a point where somebody would say, hey, are you coming? So I was very flippant about it. Once I got to be the bridesmaid for the 812th time, then I realized, wow, there is a lot of planning and it is a respectful thing. So
and each table spot is money.
Exactly. And that's why that kind of changed my perspective. Even if it's a birthday or a baby shower or what's something else you get an invite for? Oh, a graduation party.
Yeah, graduation party.
Even with graduation parties.
Well, there's lots of things. Okay, so the
wedding,
wedding,
especially because now I can just text it and I don't feel guilty.
So the
if
wedding,
I have to say no.
Yeah, you could. So the wedding, you're right. That'll play into this. So you're right with the wedding. See, the wedding, first and foremost, I have to take out of this because first of all, if you don't RSVP and show up at a wedding, I believe the bride and groom have every opportunity to go, we weren't prepared for you.
Yep.
No, actually, you'd have to send one of the bridesmaids over. Actually, you would be the perfect person to do this. It'd just be like, sorry, you didn't RSVP. You gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
And so I'm taking that off the table.
Okay.
Now, and this, I was obsessing and dwelling on it again until Tiffany told me, idiot. Well, she didn't say idiot. I inserted that part. She goes, the same thing happened last year, and all of them came. Lydia's birthday party. Okay.
Our sweet Lydia.
We are now this podcast will come out right after the birthday party, which is Saturday.
Which means we're going to have an update.
A lot has gone, and this happened last year. A lot has gone into it this year. Like, I feel we've elevated it again. There'll be a bounce house there, assuming we don't have thunderstorms. Jesus. $180 for a mermaid cake from our friends at the cakery. You've been there.
Oh my God.
Let's see. There's going to be cupcakes. There is.
Why cupcakes and cake?
You
don't know.
The kids, sometimes it's easier for the kids. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
We're not. Look, when I say this, we're not putting out to the point that this stuff won't get used. If all the cupcakes aren't eaten, what happens? We at the radio station reap the rewards on Monday.
That we do.
Okay. So, and it's a special day. She'll have face painting. She'll have a sign out front. It's like a mini, all I'm missing is a vendor fair at her birthday party. And frankly, I'm surprised Tiffany hasn't said, vendors come on down, because it's starting, now that I'm describing this, it does feel like everything a vendor fair has minus the vendors.
And how many hours is this?
3 hours. Okay. And even a sign out front. If anyone that was at Allie's purse party knows the people that are doing that do the signs and how they look. So she's getting a sign. It's all meant, but you're a little girl that turns 6 one time. Really, for girls' birthdays like this, it's a special thing. But the thing about it is, well, boys' birthdays too, don't get me wrong. It's just sometimes a little bit different. So we
just imagine when she turns sweet 16.
We put on the invitation RSVP. Now
I got one.
I'm going to tell you that for Gavin recently, we got a nice invitation and it had the RSVP on there. Now, maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know. Okay. I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I'm a Gen Xer. We gave you people the internet. All the technology you have right now, thank us. Okay.
Because you
would not have smartphones and the internet to be able to text without it. Okay. Technically, the internet has been around since World War II. It was an intermilitary thing. But either way, we're the ones that got AOL up and going and all that. You know what I mean? So it started. So at any rate, I understand things change. I really do. Now, Gavin's birthday party he was invited to, I could not RSVP until really last minute of the deadline of RSVP.
Well, that was on Mother's Day. That's a whole different thing.
Well, no, the RSVP was meant to be days before that. The problem was we were waiting for soccer game schedules. I didn't want to RSVP and say Gavin's going to be there, but then the soccer game falls dead ass smack in the middle of it and there's no time for him to go to the party and that. Well, it turned out the soccer game ended. I texted the parent and I said, listen, I'm really sorry. I'm a day late of your deadline from your RSVP.
Wow.
We were waiting for soccer schedules. Gavin's game ends at 2:30. Can he come for the last hour of the party? I got back and, oh my gosh, sure. That would be great. Wonderful. By the way, the parents were really great. Got to meet him at the birthday party. Wonderful people and all that. And I was
what
like,
a detailed RSVP.
Well, I wanted to let them know, I'm sorry I didn't get to the timeline of your RSVP, but this was my reason, and it was quick. It wasn't long-winded. It was like, I had to wait for soccer game schedules. It hit. Can he come to the last hour? Oh my gosh, that'd be great, this and that. We made it to the party. Gavin had a great time. Everybody was happy that he made it, and it was great, okay? I got one RSVP, and we're now 2 days before Lydia's wedding. Her entire kindergarten...
You mean her birthday?
Oh my God, birthday. I was just thinking back to the RSVP of the wedding. Her entire kindergarten class has gotten this one parent.
What? So I didn't realize her entire kindergarten.
Whole kindergarten. Well, because that's you kind of have to go that route in the early years. Later on, she's going to find segments of friends that she's with, and the parties will become a little bit more, they'll change from what they are. They'll change from the carnival/vendor fair minus the vendors to probably a little bit more, I'm going to use a weird term when I say this, a little bit more intimate for that group. There might be 6 kids that when you're, 11 or 12. Like Gavin, he's probably not going to invite, well, first of all, it's great. He has a July 30th birthday. I don't have to invite the entire class. We invite the core circle of friends and maybe a couple others that he likes.
A lot cheaper.
Maybe 10 kids total,
Yeah.
For Lydia, look, all 18 kids got the invite and then a couple more here and there. But the thing about it was I had one mom, and this was actually a surprise to me, called and their question was great. Is it do parents stay or is it a drop and go? And I said, listen, you're welcome to do whichever. I said, and I wanted her to feel comfortable. I said, last year when we did this, some parents stayed, some parents did the drop and go and come off. And I even joked, I said, just this past Sunday, my 10-year-old was invited to a birthday party. I looked right at the parents and I said, guys, do you mind if I run over 2 blocks to Wegmans? I've got to do the weekly grocery shopping. They're like, no, go, this and that. Do what you got to do. So
Lydia's
I
at that
obviously,
age now.
asked that question. I said, I get it. Sometimes, doing that is, being able to have a few minutes is fine. I said, we got it. So you decide whatever you want to do. And it was a nice conversation. And I'm not upset that the parents aren't RSVPing. Like, I'm not sitting here going, you are so rude. What I'm sitting here doing is our kid's going to come to my daughter's birthday party. But then, like I said, Tiffany goes, dummy, last year they all came.
So I bet you there's got to be some sort of sheet or something where it's got the parents' phone numbers and stuff. I would honestly send a text out, but next year I do have one suggestion.
Okay. And I'm not making steaks for the kids. This is not like I need to go buy 25 steaks.
No, but you want to make sure there's at least like 5 kids, so she feels like she has friends.
I want her to feel like she's getting something, because
Exactly.
Lydia's very well liked in school. She's got a little circle of friends, and even beyond. Actually, I'm really lucky. Both my kids seem to be pretty well liked.
Then you're going to be fine as far as people showing up. That's not going to be the problem at all. What I think, though, is I think you should reach out because you've obviously spent a lot of money. And for me, I would want to know for, the said pizza order or cupcakes, even though I know the cupcakes are already ordered. But you could even say, hey, we're just trying to get a final count for food. Are you going to be here? I think that that's a way to do that. And there's got to be a sheet with the parents' phone numbers, and you can just text that. But here's my suggestion for next year.
Yes.
In the invite, make sure you put, you are more than welcome to to freely drop off your child and come pick them later. Because I think that is kind of a deterrent. Because if I have to sit around for 3 hours and make stupid conversation that I don't want to make for 3 hours with parents I don't know.
I mean, you might get a great friendship out of it, but I know where you're going. Sometimes you're like, I'd love to have another friendship, but right now my brain's in another place and I don't want to sit here and BS with you.
Or I just don't want another friendship. And I don't want I don't want to spend 3 hours making small talk about weather. So
got it.
I think next year, make sure that is very clear. So that way you're going to get a full house then, because they're going to be like 3 hours without my kid.
Yeah, go shopping. Go do what you want.
Yeah, I'm going to Target. See you later.
So let me ask a question. Could I do this with an RSVP, or is it too pushy? Please RSVP if you cannot make it.
No, just text. You're going to be
do a dump and jump.
Well, no, you're going to be doing a lot of texting. This year, it's just, hey, trying to get a final count. Actually, in the text, this is when you go, and feel free to just drop your kid off. So you're going to text them.
There's a lot of work in 48 hours. Let me just tell you.
Trying to get a head count. If your kid's coming, feel free to just drop them off and pick them up, at 3 o'clock or whatever.
Or you could have just said, Scott, settle down. Look what happened last year, like my significant other did. She's like, just relax.
No, I still would want to know. Because that was one thing. If I was anxious about anything as a kid, that was the one thing.
And that's what I'm anxious about. I want to make sure she has the birthday that she will walk away from. She still talks about last year's birthday. I remember last year after her birthday party, she goes, can we do this again tomorrow? Aww. And I was like, and that's where you go, all right, that was a win.
My fear is, and I truly have this fear for her, that she will literally only have one kid show up.
Well, I know there'll be more than one. Don't get me wrong. I know a couple kids that are coming already outside of the invites that were sent to school. I didn't know if it was just a type of thing, and maybe you nailed it. Maybe it is put on there, this is a dump and jump for the parents. Maybe better phrased, but
yes.
But maybe put that on there to feel more inviting, or the better way to say it, stay if you please, not required, but not required. That way, I don't want people that might want to hang out to go, and see, because there's always a couple parents. Some of them actually just want to get to know you better and be like, hey, my kid really likes your kid. Maybe we should get to know each other a little bit better so that as they grow together, they can continue to play. And I feel comfortable with you,
I think especially because most people know who you are.
Actually, the lady that called for RSVP, she goes, are you the guy on the radio? And I go, yes, I am.
I think that you could make it even funny, too, which is, you're more than welcome to stay. But I don't blame you if you want to just drop your kid off.
Sure.
I
and
think
that's
you could.
fine.
You're one of those people that could get away with it.
Yeah.
Make it funny.
And I really am. I want parents need to know that. I don't know. I didn't know primarily if this was just a generational move, though, where people just don't.
I don't even know if it's generational.
Or do they not want me to have their phone number?
I think it's just we're busier than ever.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this so much on the show. So it's just one of those things that slipped through the cracks, which is why you're going to be doing a lot of texting in the next 48 hours.
Oh, God. Well, you know what? Or I'm just going to sit back and say, I'm going to let it be like it was last year. It'll be a full house and everything will be fine and it'll be fine.
Well, you'll have to give us an update.
Yeah, I'll let you know. Like I said, I'm obsessing. It'll be fine. I'm not mad at anybody in any way, shape, or form. I don't find it overly rude. I just questioned it.
You keep saying that when only 2 people show up and you don't do the texting.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence.
You're welcome.
Yep.
All right, bye.
Well, that was fun. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. Do us a favor, will you? Subscribe. Share the Scott and Allie Not for Air podcast. Touch our buttons. We know you want to.